Picture this. You're playing out your lane, taking some light trades, and suddenly, your jungler runs into your lane over an enemy ward and tries to overforce a gank that will clearly never get you a kill. Then after failing the gank, your jungler sticks around and starts randomly hitting your wave, stealing your gold and stealing your XP. You'd probably be pretty mad. You'd probably start spamming the question mark ping on top of them, and you might even get angry enough that you run into the enemy tower and die just to prove a point to that guy. But what if I told you that this line of thinking proves that you know absolutely nothing about the game? Now, from Tryndamere's perspective, this gank was pointless. We're never going to get a kill, Wukong is too close to his tower, and his jungler is just an idiot for stealing his farm. But from Poppy's perspective, the kill is not the goal of the gank at all. In this replay, I was the Poppy player, and ever since I played this game, I wanted to make this video. Not to flame, but to help players like this Tryndamere understand the real reason of why we gank. And no, it isn't for kills, it's due to demanding lane states. Now, lane states is a broad term that we will cover in this video, but to define it quickly, a demanding lane state is a situation in a lane that requires action, and a reward will be given by responding to this, whether you get a successful gank with a kill or not.
My name's Rogue and I played League of Legends professionally for 7 years. Now I'm a full-time content creator and coach for all ranks Iron through to Challenger. So if you want more information of what a coaching session with me will look like, you can find more information by following the link in the video description below.
Now in this replay, I ganked here because of several reasons. Firstly, Tryndamere has no TP or potions, and is already half health with absolutely no way to get health back, whilst his lane opponent Wukong still has his TP. The only way that Tryndamere can fix this situation is by crashing a wave into the opponent's tower and recalling. But in order to crash a wave into the tower, he's going to need to play hyper-aggressive right now. A good jungler can look at a lane state like this and realize that this situation is now a game-wide win condition, and something is going to happen in this lane. Now after this trade is taken, the situation in top lane becomes extremely volatile. Tryndamere has no TP, he has no pots, and he's stuck in lane with no sustain against an opponent who has more items, an extra potion, TP available, and he's not in a good position. The only way out of this for Tryndamere is to get a recall to level the playing field, get back health and get back items. And the only way to do that now is to crash a wave into tower. Now it's going to be hard for him to do that in a solo 1v1 with the item deficit, but he has to try. And if he doesn't try, the situation is going to be doomed for him. He can lose push, that'll buy Wukong time to pot up to some health, he'll get a chance to TP back, and our Tryndamere will be stuck in lane. Once Tryndamere has lost enough health to the point where he can no longer threaten it all in, he's screwed. There will be no way out of this situation ever again. He can't fight his way out, he can't TP back, he has no pots. The only way out will be to lose waves, and that is not a great outcome for him. So our Tryndamere needs to play aggressive right now. But what makes this really interesting is when you look at it from the perspective of Wukong's jungler. Right? When you watch this from Skarner's perspective and you think about the idea of ganking top and you look at all the outcomes, is when it becomes very apparent that we need all hands on deck to go top lane. So there's two outcomes to Skarner coming top lane right now. Option number one is Tryndamere plays hyper aggressive to secure a wave crash and dies to a gank. Okay, that would be good for Skarner. But option number two is what is interesting here. Let's say that Skarner comes top, he walks over a ward and Tryndamere backs off. This is still a winning situation for Skarner. Tryndamere's only way out of a bad lane state is to get a recall by crashing a wave. If all that Skarner does is walk into river, clear a ward, and leave, the fact that Skarner's in the area will prevent Tryndamere achieving his only win con. He will be simply stuck in a lane, which he will now lose push in because of the jungler's proximity, and then he will have no way out of this terrible position. Wukong will get enough time to pot up, potentially TP back, and the presence of Skarner will give Wukong the confidence needed to take that final trade that will knock Tryndamere to a point where he has no way out anymore. So Skarner is now incentivized to come top because no matter what happens, he will always benefit. He's incentivized to come top because the situation is very dominant for his laner right now, and if he can come top and preserve this situation, it is now a lane win con. So he comes top. I'm incentivized to come top as well because I need to save my teammate from this terrible situation, but because now that I know that Skarner is so incentivized to come top, he will always come top. He's rewarded for coming here regardless, so I need to come here in order to save this situation because I know exactly that Skarner's coming here. Now, when I do come here, it completely saves the lane for my Tryndamere. Instead of dying and losing waves, we actually get a kill on Skarner, but of course, our solo queue teammates don't always see it like that. Another reason that makes the decision to come top right now a good one is due to the game time. We're coming up on the 530 wave. That is the wave that solo laners will hit level 6. Getting prio on this wave will give my top laner level 6 before the enemy top laner, which is exactly what happened. Because I hit the wave, Tryndamere hits level 6, and with that level 6, we kill Skarner, while Wukong is still hitting creeps to try and match this level up. Had I not come top on this wave, but Skarner did come top lane, then Wukong would be getting prio on this wave, and he would hit level 6 first. The enemy could easily dive my Tryndamere 2v1, who's only at half health, using their newly found Wukong ult, before the minions would die that would give Tryndamere level 6. This 530 timer is an extremely strong indicator of volatile lane states, especially in lanes with champions who predictably take an all-in timer on their level 6 or who have dive opportunities like with the Tryndamere. This replay is an awesome one to look at because out of all of the ganks I do this game, and my god, there are so many ganks that I do, not a single one of them is with the intention of getting a kill, yet they all carry massive benefit to me and allow me to completely out-jungle my lane opponent. So check this out. I've just taken my first 3 camps. By the rules of the jungle, I've got to go do the other 3. But guess where I'm heading? Bot lane. And we're going to ask why, but it's going to become very apparent when we see Senna's health. So not only is Senna running out of health, Blitzcrank's running out of health, with no potions, no TPs, this is a volatile situation. Something is going to happen. It is essentially first person to recall is going to end up in a good position, and so guess who's here? Skarner is here right on cue because he is a good jungler and he's seeing the same thing as me. But I've predicted that he wants to come fix this lane for his Senna who's in a bad position. I want to preserve the lane state that's in my favor while he wants to fix it, but I'm here to counter gank him because I know exactly that he's coming here. So let's go quickly grab his blue buff as a reward. We'll grab the Scuttle Crab, but hold on a second. Look at mid lane. Okay, so with health and mana this low, this is always an interesting situation to look at. And I think anyone would drop what they're doing to come here. But what's really interesting is Wei has TP, so he's not too bad off. He can fix this problem himself. But LeBlanc doesn't have TP this game. LeBlanc is in a terrible position. She has no way out of this other than to crash a wave into tower. Otherwise, she'll have to lose a wave when she resets. So I'm simply dropping what I'm doing to come here to preserve this lane state for my Wei. Now I'm going to come in and start bashing the wave. The idea of doing this is that if I can kill this wave, it will buy Wei enough time to recall, TP back, and do all of this in time to trap the LeBlanc in lane. Once Wei is TP'd back, LeBlanc's going to have to drop a reset, and then Wei can deny an entire wave. So guess who's here? Skarner's here, because he doesn't want to allow my mid laner to go up an entire wave, so he's very predictably is here. Now this isn't played perfectly, let's just pretend I was setting my Wei up really good, and then my Wei makes a good play, gets 2 kills, really good for him, and he denies some minions. Really good by that guy. Now let's go do a camp, and now things might become a little bit deja vu. Even though I have 4 camps to go do, I'm running top lane. Why am I running top lane? Well, it's the clip from the intro. My top laner has no TP, he's in a very compromised position where he has to play aggressive, and it's coming up on the level 6 wave, and we potentially have a dive opportunity onto Wukong. So I'm going to force push on this wave to give my Tryndamere level 6 so that we can potentially dive Wukong or give Tryndamere a recall, but guess who's here? Skarner, right on cue. Again, this Skarner is a good player because he's seeing the same thing as me. His top laner is advantaged in a volatile situation and he's trying to preserve that. I'm trying to fix it for my top laner, but the difference is I got here first, so my top laner got 6. If he had skipped his camp to come here because he recognized how volatile I was, probably would have won that situation, but hold on a second, I need to go do some camps, but look at mid lane again, and this is where things start to get really interesting, guys. No one in this lane has any health. So it's basically a race to see whose jungler or support shows up first and makes the situation better. And guess who's here? It's our old friend Skarner, right on cue, right? And this makes a really interesting thing when you look at from the perspective of LeBlanc, right? Now that LeBlanc has seen that I'm here blocking this, you know, Skarner wants to give her a recall, but I'm here to block it. They can't win this 2v2, and she knows it. So if she can't crash the wave into tower to get a reset, and she doesn't have TP to get a reset, the only way to get a reset is to base and lose a wave and a half worth of gold and XP. So by coming mid, I had 0 interaction with LeBlanc. All I did was clear a ward and leave, and block their jungler, but that alone gave Wei half a level lead and a couple hundred gold. Amazing, right? So I'm going to do my Raptors, and hold on a second. I'm only 1 camp away from level 6 and my red buff's right there, but why am I running bot lane? Well, Yet again, it's another one of these compromising positions. I'm just running from lane to lane because when I see laners with no health and mana, I'm going to drop what I'm doing and go there. Now, I'm not actually going to interact with my opponent, but what I'm going to do is prevent them from clearing this wave, which gives my bot lane a plate and makes them lose some minions. We quickly grab Dragon, and then when I look bot lane, it is still that compromising position. I'm going to run bot lane to prevent them from getting this recall, and, well, guess who's here? Right on cue, Skarner's back again, because he's trying to facilitate that recall for his bot lane that desperately needs it. Now, because they can't win this 3v3, guess what their bot lane's going to do? They're going to drop a plate, they're going to drop a cannon minion. So yet again, it's another time that I've dropped what I'm doing to come to one of these lanes, and it is the second time that I've gotten a plate and denied a full wave for one of my laners. Now, after denying this wave, we're going to come up on the last clip from this replay, and it's a really interesting one, and that's to do with mid lane. Now, by everything that we've looked at so far, this situation doesn't look very volatile, because it's not due to the health and mana, but it is because of all-in timers. Now, this is due to the matchup. We've got two champions with no sustain, no TP, not many potions, and if you think about it, Hui is a long-range poke champion, and LeBlanc is a short-range all-in champion. The win conditions for these two champions is very simple. LeBlanc needs to take an all-in. Hui needs to stall time and poke her out. The best time for LeBlanc to all-in is when she's fresh off base. LeBlanc is fresh off base. When you are at your peak of damage because you just bought items, and you're at full health and mana, this is your best chance to all-in. The longer you wait, the worse it becomes. In 30 seconds, LeBlanc has this much health. In a minute, she has this much. In minute 30, this much. And after about 2 minutes, she no longer has enough health to all-in. Without enough health to all-in, she can't secure recalls. Without securing recalls, she's stuck under tower getting poked and she's screwed. This is LeBlanc's best chance to all-in. If I come mid lane now, I can block her all-in timer and buy time for Hui to play aggressive and poke her out. Once LeBlanc is low enough on health, she loses her all-in chance forever, and it is simply a one situation. But if LeBlanc goes in now, I'm there to counter it. So I'm now incentivized to come mid to allow my Hui time to poke and to block her all-in, but Skarner is now incentivized to come mid to enable her all-in. Now, I'm a greedy jungler and I want a red buff, and this is my first mistake of the game. When I take time to do red buff, LeBlanc goes for her all-in, and guess who's here? Right on cue. Now, this situation with time would become bad for LeBlanc. But right now is her only chance to all-in before it gets worse, and I missed that opportunity because I wanted a red buff. This is a really interesting opportunity you can often look out for, is also understanding how matchups work and champion all-in timers. And in this case, I was just 10 seconds late, but it cost my mid laner his life. In this more recent replay where I'm playing Volibear jungle, you can see that with good understanding of all-in timers, you can make the game miserable for enemy laners. And from Akali's POV, this is just the biggest jungle gap you've ever seen. Now, it's 7 minutes in, so it's quite late, and Akali is massively delayed on XP and only just hit level 6. Now, Akali is coming off base. Both mid laners are. Akali just hit level 6. I wonder what she's going to do. It's the exact same clip as the Hui vs LeBlanc replay we just looked at, but this time it's a level 6 Akali. I wonder what he's going to do. So instead of taking the time to do any of the 4 jungle camps I have alive, I'm going to drop everything that I'm doing and come and just sit in this bush behind Hui. Wow, who would have guessed? Akali is taking the all-in at the best opportunity she's going to have, and I'm here just to simply prevent it. Now, by preventing this, and putting Akali to this low on health when she has no TP, I've functionally created one of these demanding lane states. This is now a lane that somebody is trapped in, and something will eventually break. So I'm just in the area to preserve it, and the entire time I'm here, Akali's situation is becoming worse, the tower is getting destroyed, Lee Sin needs to come here to bail this out because this is really bad, things are not looking good right now. So I'm predicting he's going to come here, but turns out he just hates his mid laner, so screw it, let's go mess around with him for a bit. But you know what happens if their jungler doesn't come to prevent this situation? They don't come help, well... It's not very fun for Akali, so she's dead. So she's just spent about a minute under tower, bleeding plates, ever since she tried to take that all in. And finally, with no help, and me preserving that lane state, it's just going to turn into 3 plates and a death, and probably -2 waves. So, really good play, but let's take note of that ult timer. Akali ult, about a minute and a half, it's probably coming up soon. We'll go check mid. Okay, Akali is now half health. Her ult just came back up. I think she's going to do something. If she waits any longer, she's going to be too poked out to be able to take an all-in, so it has to be now. I should probably drop what I'm doing and head straight there, but I'm going to take the chickens just because it gives me level 7, which makes me a little bit late, but very predictably, who would have guessed? Akali's taken an all-in with her ult before she's too low health to do it. And Thresh is here, and why would Thresh be here? Thresh is here to facilitate that all-in because his mid lane is half health and it's a volatile situation and he needs help. Okay, so again, let's just take another little note of that ult timer. It's probably going to be up pretty soon. I'm going to go spend some free time doing stuff. Akali ult's on cooldown, so who cares? Alright, really fun, good stuff, guys. Tower for a while, reset. Alright, let me guess. I'm going to say that Akali ult's probably back up, and Lee Sin's there to facilitate that all-in. Okay, fair enough. But coming out of base, when champion health bars look like this is again another demanding wave state, which means I have 5 camps alive, but I don't have time for any of them. I need to drop what I'm doing, and I need to preserve this lane state that is massively favoring my way and gives opportunity, and poor Akali, she's spent the entire game with a volley bear in her lane every time that she tries to take an all-in, and he's preserved that lane state, making it impossible for their teammates to help. And because of this, this guy is down 20 CS, 5 tower plates, first tower, 2k gold, a level or 2. The game is just completely unplayable for him. By noticing when a lane is in a volatile state, either because it's an all-in timer that you want to enable or to block, or because someone is low health and you either want to block or enable a recall, you can make ganks that achieve a reward regardless of you making a kill or not, whilst also playing in a way that can easily predict what the enemy's next move is. This is how you should roam as a support, or how you should gank as a jungler in solo queue, in a way that is obvious. This is how you should roam as a support, or gank as a jungler in a solo queue, and it's obviously something that our Tryndamere player from the intro just simply didn't understand. My name's Rogue, thank you for watching. While you're in the description, you'll also find the link to my Patreon, where I post all of the recordings of my best coaching sessions in full. With collections sorted by role and rank, including sessions where I've coached for professional level teams, you can get a glimpse into what pro level League of Legends look like from the inside. No matter what you're looking for, you'll easily be able to find something that's going to help you improve, no matter your rank. Now finally, I want to say thank you to those who do support me. It's because of you guys I get to keep making videos like this, so thank you.